What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? I decided not to go with the background today just because it was making my computer do weird stuff. So I'm saying, what's up with y'all? And there's a mess in the background. I don't care. Yellow curtains here, fan not on. You'll see people walking around in the back. I don't care. I ain't about being all. I'm going to do like the Petrinchich brothers doing. We don't do it with editing. Hey, I'm just going to do what I do when I do what I do it. So what's up? How is everybody today? It ain't Monday, which makes it a lot easier to deal with. I prefer Wednesdays. Makes it easier for me. Crazy busy week already, but I got to fly over the weekend, so I feel like a more normal human being. So I'm going to do the usual, which is the very beginning of the show. I talk about who I am and what it is that I do. My name is Gooniac33. That is my website right there. If you're interested in what it is that I do, you want to see my burners, you want to see my Gooniac stacks, and soon to have Gooniac guns, check out the website. If you have any questions, RC related, or you want to have questions about burners, whatever, check out that website. Figure out how to get a hold of me. You can email me through the website, or it actually puts my email there on the website, so you can see it and get to me. Make burners for all the most popular stuff, with the exception of the exposed outrunners that aren't covered. So if you want something made for burners, for prop planes, afterburners for jets, let me know. Check me out there. If you have any questions, that's how you get a hold of me. Check the links in the description. I've got my website listed there. I've got my merchandise. There is merchandise. The most recent person to buy something and most recent person to become a member is Charlie, and I'll get back to that. But check out my merchandise. Wife is helping me out with some stuff, putting up some new things, but there are lots of cool things there. Get some swag from Gooniac. If you want to show your appreciation, that's one way to do it, by buying merchandise, or throw out a super chat if you feel like it, or throw out a PayPal. It's all there in the description if you guys want to, or scrolling down there below. But I always do a little bit of a plug in the beginning because I don't like talking about just about me and my stuff, but there are things that I do, and that's what I do. But the reason for me being here is to try to help you all out with stuff that I know, things that I can help make you better at this hobby. Actually helps me too when I do that. So Whole point is to do what I didn't have for me, which was struggle like crazy with nobody to help. So I'm actually here to help out y'all with stuff that I've learned over the 37 something years that I've been at this hobby. I'm not perfect at it. I'm not the best, but I am pretty damn good. So I can help you out. So that's why I'm here. And that is it about the little shameless plug for myself. So let's do the usual, which is do some shout outs. As there are people here talking earlier. I didn't blast out this broadcast today, so there may not be a whole lot of people in here. And if there aren't, I don't care, because that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to help y'all. But anyway, let's go up and look and see who was here, because when I first logged on, there were a lot of people here already. So I see Big Chris is here, and he is a member. If you guys want to be a member, I encourage it, because I'm going to start making the giveaways for members only, because it's only fair. But I'll do some other giveaways for random stuff. But if it comes to planes and stuff, I'll make that members only, because y'all are the ones that deserve it. Big Chris is a member, and he was one of the first people here. Mr. Charlie, I don't know how to say your last name. I think it's Grodek, but I'm just going to say Charlie, because I talk to Charlie all the time. He texts back and forth all the time. He is a member, and he is the most recent member, so thank you very much, Charlie. And he just bought a shirt, so y'all go check out the merchandise and do like Charlie did and buy some stuff. Who else? There is Mr. Pete Lane. What's up, Pete? Mr. Shadow Ops, who's another member. What is up, Shadow? Hope you're doing okay up there in Idaho. It's not all crazy hot. Weather's been actually pretty nice down here. I had 99-degree weather when I flew over the weekend, but it calmed down and was able to get some good flights. And there's videos are popping up too if you haven't seen them already. Mr. Paul McNeil, what is happening? UQRC, what's up? Snow River, who is another one of my members. What's up, Snow River? Who else? Craig Bevan, what's up, Craig? Tim Justins, I saw your video with GB this weekend. That was pretty cool. I like that plane. I was looking at those a long time ago, and I'm very tempted to still very tempted to get one. I'm talking about the Yak. So let's see who else. Rye Young. I don't know if I've seen you on here before, but welcome, Rye. Good to see you here. Andy Cho, what is up, my friend? Joe Dell, what's happening, Joe Dell? Another member. Lionel Randall, what's up, Lionel? Thank you for being here. You had a question for me too, don't forget, for later. Snow River, I don't know if I said anything to you, but I'm saying Snow River, who's another member. What's up, Snow River? Let's see who else. Jack 78, who is another member. What's happening, Jack? Hope you're doing okay too. Let's see. Jeff in Lower Alabama, what is happening? Randy Huffins, what's up, Randy? How you doing, buddy? Who else? Mr. Victor RC Jets, who happens to be another member. What's up, Victor? Mr. Turbine, I'm seeing your videos. I got to reply to some of your stuff. Who else? I think I might be caught up, but as you guys come in, I'll say what's up to everybody going on in here. This is actually going to be kind of a cool show, hopefully. I just literally within, sorry, I kicked the desk. Within the last 40 minutes, got my Hobby King, my little F-16. It just showed up. So that's what I want to get into first. But I've got two planes on my table over here. I have they're both F-16s, but one is an F-16 I haven't seen, which is the new Hobby King 50mm with the new setup. And on top of that, I ordered an extra fan. So what I'm going to do, I'm probably not going to balance it today, but I will get that fan and I'll look at it and I'll see if they're balanced or out of balance. Knowing Hobby King, they didn't balance them at all. They just threw them in the plane. But I have an extra, and I'm going to see how it is. I might not do it on this show, but I'll do it another time, and then show how it is, and then show what it's like with it balanced, and show what it's like without. If it's badly balanced in the plane, I'm not even going to fly it, but I will run it up and let it buzz around so you guys can hear. And then I'll balance it and put one in there and see what's going on. Tyson T. Strong, I haven't seen you in a while. What's up, Tyson? Howdy, howdy. Good to see you. Long time no see. So that is on the agenda for today. It's just going to be those two, but I'll start with the small F-16 because I haven't had one of these. I had the older Sky Angel, two of them. I gave one away and sold the other. So, but I also have the FMS 70mm F-16 V2 that I'm going to be opening up too, so you guys can see. So let us get to the usual for this time, which is questions. Y'all got questions? Now is the time to go through. I see you guys going away in the chat there. What's Jeff in Alabama talking about? Chuck. So main reason why I wanted to get that little the new Hobby King F-16 is because it's a red tail, and I love anything red tail, and this is made after the red tail. So that's why I got it. But I also like the fact that it's coming standard with a 12-blade fan. So we'll see how that works. So yeah, okay, so this is something I didn't know, Randy. It's a good question to start out with. That's another thing too. I have those timber videos to post. I have one that I posted, but the other ones are going to be with the Guniac stacks after dark, and I flew it for like 20 minutes. So maybe a little bit less, but it was a long time. The ESC is known to get too hot in these things because of where they have it located. I guess that there is I know Nate sent me a video. I appreciate the video, Nate. He sent me a video showing that you're supposed to relocate the ESC to that little spot directly under the battery, which happens to be right where the little opening is for air to come in. So I was going to do one of two things. I was going to put one of the bigger ESCs in there with the fan, or figure out a way to relocate that ESC and get it to where it was in the cooling air, because when I did my flight, it got up to 192 degrees, which is only about 20 degrees before it actually cuts off. So it got pretty hot up in there. So I was able to get the temps to stabilize, but it was pretty bad. I mean, even with the ones with the fan, I flew my Viper. The Viper has a fan on it, and even with the fan, you get out to about 170 degrees. And now, mind you, that's going to be because of the a combination of the BEC circuit and then just the regular FETs getting warm. All right, so Craig Bevan's got a question. Still having issues with the FMS or failed ESC. Cannot get the unit to break to reset. Try to reset it. Your thoughts? If I remember right, the new FMS units are Hobby Wing. Connect it to the little control. There's a little Hobby Wing. I think you can get that from. You can get that from Motion RC, but they have a card that works. Just plug the card in, and then it can change things. There, if you do it with the throttle position, that thing gets a little confusing. But if I remember right, all of the Hobby Wings, regardless of how new or old, they all use that same card. And the new FMS are made by Hobby King. I mean, by Hobby Wing. So check it out. Charlie's Rodek is pretty excited about his FW Focke-Wulf. Glad to see that. And Paul McNeil, no, not as of late. I haven't had much of anything. There were some flyovers that I missed. There was a British C-130 that came by, and I wasn't able to see it. And that's the last time it's going to be here in the U.S. because they're updating the newer stuff. So I missed it, but no, there hasn't been much going on. It's going to come soon, though. There will be more. So let's see. Oh, wow. Oh, really? So is this the MiG on Motion RC, the MiG 29? Must mean they're not moving very well. I had one and I was gonna build it, and I looked at it and I'm like, I don't want to do all the modifications. I still have all the parts for it, but I don't think I'm gonna do it. I sold it. So yeah, the ESC was not not cooled at all, and it's just because it's too far back. And I think with it being that far back, it's actually blocking the exit hole, which is making it so no air gets in there. So there's a video showing where you take the ESC, pull it forward, you put Velcro on it, and you tape it down, Velcro it down right in front where the air actually comes in through the spinner. Not through the spinner, right under the spinner through the little vent. So we'll see if that works. Yeah, the most important thing is getting the cooling air going over it. So you have to have the way that it works with most of these, with any of the vents, you have a small hole in the front and a big hole in the back. That big hole pulls the air from the front, and then if you get it right, it will actually create a good flow over, and does pretty good. Yeah, Paul McNeil. I'll have a video of the Guniac stacks in the timber here. It split my video into two. It should have been one, but my camera split it into two, so I'll have to join it somehow. It's a pretty long video, and it shows I flew that thing at night after the sun had gone down, and thing flies amazing. I'm surprised at how well the turbo timber actually flies. The other timbers I've flown and they were kind of meh, but the turbo timber Evo is really good. I prefer this one over some of the others. It's been pretty good. What is up, Mr. Garfield Houston? How you doing, buddy? Yes, it is a long nose. It is not fragile. That plane is surprisingly strong. The way that they built it, they actually put some thought into it. So the nose is way out there on its own, and the nose gear is further behind. I've had a couple rough landings just because it was tail heavy to start out with, and all it did was bend the gear a little bit. Nothing got ripped out. Nothing got crunched. So it's a pretty strong plane. I did bend the gear back, and it was what they did, which is really cool. The gear comes down like this, and there's a little stop. That stop is preventing the gear from getting ripped out. So it actually is a pretty cool little plane. In bone stock form, I think the plane would fly great. There is no need to change anything. I did it simply because I wanted to put burners in it, and I'm not going to put burners in that actually hurt thrust. And the burners that are out there for outrunners will hurt thrust, and I'm not going to design one that's going to hurt thrust. So I put in runners, put the burners on, and the thing flies amazing. There's a couple of videos that are going to go out showing how that thing flew over the weekend. Once I've gotten the hang of it, I added another ½ ounce to the nose. Flies amazing, fast, fun. The landing's still a little weird. I have to get used to that, but it tamed it quite a bit by putting that extra nose weight. Yeah, so Flyfans MiG is good. Liking it. Jay, what's happening, Jay? How you doing down there in Texas? Yeah, I just didn't want to deal with it. Then the 2 battery thing, the way I was going to do it, it would have taken me forever because I was going to make a power distribution. I had all these things set up to make it work. 2 ESCs joined to one in one spot, and then all going to one battery. So, or one big battery or 2 batteries in parallel. So it was going to be quite a bit of work. And I'm like, it's going to be heavy. It's going to be huge. It's going to take up my whole storage area in my car. I don't know if I want to deal with it. So I sold it. So yeah, Shoutouts. I do that too. Problem with these smart ESCs is that they come in this case. So this case is part of the issue. The one that I'm using does not have a fan, but this around it, and the fact that it has a BEC circuit built in, causes a lot of heat soak. So when I disable the BEC circuits, a lot of these ESCs will drop by as much as 40 degrees, because it's, anytime you have a step down, it's going to increase your the temperature. So I just have to move it forward a little bit. I mean, I could use this too, but that's going to be heavier in the nose. But I'm just going to move it forward. Let's see. EQ, this thing is actually pretty big as it is now. I'm actually pretty impressed with the plane. They did a pretty good job. It's strong. The paint is really good. Everything, the fit and finish was great. Hardest part was getting the wings to fit, but I did get them to fit, and the thing's perfect. It flies really good. The servos seem good. So it's nice to see that there's someone else out there building things that are competing with other things out there. So Pete's, is that Pete or Paul? That's Paul and Pete. So talk about Blender. We got Blender. Huh? Cool. I almost added some on my Hobby King order, but I ordered. Oh, that's right. I ordered batteries and I ordered an extra fan and the plane. So, but yeah, as I was saying, the plane is pretty big as it is. That's fun. It's not bad. They did a good job. And as I said, what's up, Mr. Linden? How are you doing? I got to catch up on the chat. Y'all are going fast. That's good. So, what is the? Yes, that's the same one. Okay, so that's the same one. Do you know if the FMS, does it have a UPEC, or is it a BEC powering the ESC? I don't know. So the way it works is this: if I don't have my card here, it's in my car. That shows UPEC and then ESC, or it says battery and then ESC. You have a UPEC, it goes where it says battery, and then the other one says ESC. Plug it in there, and then when you plug in the plane, it'll power all of that. It takes a second, and then it lights up, and then you can change things. But that should work. Hey guys, you got some good questions today. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I don't want to go crazy long today with all of this, but we will have some pretty good openings here. Got some unboxings, which should be good. So Jay, as I said, it's I didn't realize that there was an actual bulletin out for the plane. They say that it's supposed to relocate the ESC, move the ESC further towards the front, where there's a little opening in the cowl, and then that keeps the temperatures down. I had the temperatures go as high as 192 degrees over the weekend when it was 99 degrees ambient temperature. So it was a little warm, but I was able to look up and see that the thermal cutoff is not until 212. So thankfully, with telemetry, I'm able to monitor that and see that it's not getting that high. So I was able to get it down. So I saw the bulletins too. I didn't realize it. Nate sent it to me, so I was able to see that, and I'll change it. Yeah, okay, so something to remember too, EQ, the MiG-25, the real plane was huge. It was a big-ass beast. Big plane. So the MiG-29 was actually quite a bit smaller. And if you put the two together in the same scale, the MiG-25 was almost twice the size of the MiG-29. MiG-25 is a huge plane. It has the world's largest afterburners. So it's a big, big plane. So the 64, while it may not, I mean, if it was to be the right scale and an 80mm fan, it would be significantly bigger than the MiG-29. So yeah. So yeah, it was a big old plane, and as I said, it had the world's largest afterburners. So I think that it does even the plane that replaced it, the 31, doesn't have burners as big as the MiG-25. So very cool plane. But you know, and it's kind of ugly, but it just had a look, you know, a look that is timeless. Especially if you're a kid from the 70s and 80s, you remember MiG-25 is something people always wanted to see. So once I was able to see one, yeah. Snow River, the funny thing is, when it comes to that sort of thing, what people don't know about our U.S. military is that most of our deaths come from training accidents, and they just don't talk about it. So the Russians make mistakes, but so do the USA. So yeah. Oh, so Lyndon, what I miss? Okay, how do you pro boat? No idea. If it's a boat or ESC, I don't know. I don't know how the switch works. I don't know if the switch is completing a connection or shorting something out. It depends. You have to figure out how that switch is supposed to work. I don't know. I don't know anything about the boats. I'm a plane dude. I did my surface time. I'm done with that. So I think the MiG-31, it was still supposed to be an interceptor, but they didn't try to go as hog wild with it as they did with the MiG-25. MiG-25 was meant to be an SR-71 killer. It could catch one, but that's all it could do. The SR-71 could fly at Mach 3 all day long. In fact, it was happiest flying at Mach 3 all day long. It was designed to do that. The MiG-25 could get up there, but it would burn itself up getting there. And by the time it got there, it would have to power down and land. And when it did land, the engines had to be totally rebuilt. The SR-71 was a funky bird because it was meant to fly at crazy high speeds all the time. And it preferred flying over Mach 1. I preferred flying over Mach 2, actually. So it was a happy plane. And a lot of them, almost actually every one of them, they all had different top speeds. None of them were the same. So, yeah, and the MiG-25 is a strictly interceptor. Take off, get as high as you can quickly, figure out what was there, shoot it, come back down. That was it. It wasn't meant to turn. It wasn't meant to do anything. The 31 is meant to be a little bit of a mix. It's still fast. It goes high. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to get too deep down into the aviation rabbit hole. So, Mr. Fred Barron, what's happening? Thanks for doing your chats where you have everybody on there chatting and with your live streams. That's cool. And there's a hole and nobody's around, and you always show up with the chats, and that's cool. Scotty Story, what is happening? So cool. Y'all got some good questions today. That's good. I like it. So let's get the invite done here. Sorry if you see the screen changing colors. I've got to, or my face changing colors because of the screen. I've got to get the link sent to myself so that I can use my phone as the camera for the for the unboxing I'm going to be doing. So Charlie, Charlie's been asking me about the FMS Stuka, which they stopped making a while ago. If anybody knows of anyone that has one, get a hold of Mr. Charlie and let him know. They stopped making it a while ago, and there are still people that have them, but it's hard to get a hold of people that do have them. So if anybody knows, yeah. Whenever people say this, I don't really know how to respond other than saying it's kind of like Facebook. You can get on Facebook for free, but they're taking something from you. So I don't want to get started on that. But yeah, anyway. And yes, if you ever look at pictures of, okay, so this is one thing to remember about the SR-71. When it would take off, actually, when it was taxiing around, you'd see stuff dripping. You'd see all these things. It was weird. The plane would actually shrink and grow. On the ground, everything, the tanks were kind of unsealed. It was leaking fuel the whole time. There were kind of open spaces and stuff. Once it would take off, it will have not only used a whole lot of fuel taking off, but it will have leaked a lot of fuel out of its body. As soon as it takes off, it's got to get up to altitude and hook up with the tanker. Hooked up with the tanker, fuels up. Once it's done, it peels away, punches it, and gets up to over Mach 1. When it does that, things start to close up. It starts to seal. The motors get efficient. Everything starts working. The plane gets happy. So I forget what the certain amount was that it actually grew once it started heating up. But the tanks would seal. The plane would get hot. The actual surface temperature would be hot. The pilots could not touch the actual windshield or screen because it was too hot. Friction. So it was a cool plane. And where my wife grew up, she used to see them all the time, and she had no clue what they were. But they remember them breaking the sound barrier all the time, hearing the crash, bang, boom. And they'd always fly over her house, but she never knew what it was. And yeah, I would have loved to have been there. I'd have been in heaven, other than the heat. But yeah. If you guys have ever heard of back in the days, in the 80s and 90s, when the Discovery Channel first came out, there was a series called Wings, and it was really cool. Anything you wanted to know about aviation, Wings would teach you about it. They had wings of the Luftwaffe, they had wings of the Red Star, they had wings of Vietnam, wings over World War I, World War II, strange planes. They had the X-planes. They had all of those series. I think you can still find them if you look on YouTube and other places. But Wings on Discovery Channel, amazing. If any and everything you wanted to know was on the Wings series. And in my childhood, I spent a lot of time on cable watching the Discovery Channel. I couldn't fast forward through anything. You had to sit there and watch them. So I used to watch those when I was little. Learned a lot about aviation just from that. And yes, Shoutouts, it had to be going at least Mach over anything in the Mach range, and it was happy. Even if it was just barely over Mach 1, because then it would get the heat that it needed to seal things up. But it was the happiest, depending on the plane, 2.5 plus. And they all had different top speeds, so depending on which the plane was, they had different top speeds. So yeah, they're cool. There's a couple other people that have seen it too. So Paul McNeil, yeah, I'm going to change to Wednesdays for now, just because the weekends are pretty busy for me, and Monday is always a crazy busy day at work, and the wife is off on Mondays, which means that she's usually here, and she might want to go do something, or it's just easier. It's easier to do it on Wednesday because then I have time to decompress. I've flown over the weekend. I've gotten my stuff unloaded. I discharged batteries. It just gives me time. So yeah. So there you go. Yeah, it would grow. I remember that. I couldn't remember the dimensions, but I knew that it would grow once it got it heated up, and then as it slowed down, it would start shrinking, start leaking again. That's another cool thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, because it's Beale Air Force Base up in Northern California, which is where the SR-71s would fly. There are still the Dragon Lady um, U2s, Dragon Lady and just regular U2s that fly out of there. So they do the opposite. So they fly crazy high, but crazy slow. So they've got big wings that fly like a glider. But since they go up to that altitude, they get extremely cold because they're not going fast enough to to cause any friction. So when they come down after having flown up that high, if you look under the wings of those planes, you'll see that there'll be like this white. It's actually ice. The planes have gotten cold and have ice on them when they're coming into land. It's not on the leading edge, so it doesn't hurt anything, but there is ice underneath. So yeah. Yes, this is another thing. There is a certain thing you have to do to light that, and there were only a certain amount of times that the pilots could go into afterburner because there was a special amount of, I don't know if it was a gas or it was some sort of a lighter or something, certain thing you had to do to light the burners, and they could only light the burners a certain amount of times, so they had to be very careful with how they did it. um, and it was not, that fuel was special, um, hard to make because it had to have a low flash point. So it's funky. It was cool. There's a lot of stuff you can learn. The A12 was where it started. And to think that they did all this stuff without actual computers, they had slide rules that they did all this stuff with. So yeah, so that's what it was. It was a certain amount of bangs that they could do to get it to get it into afterburner. But they didn't have unlimited. It's not like a regular jet where you just push it forward and it goes into burner. No, you had to actually click something to make it go because the fuel was special. So they had to do certain things. So yeah. Anyway, yep. So Shadow, you probably know this then. What was the Russians' nickname for the MiG-25? Do you know that? Because there's not many people that know what that is. But let's see. I know that you probably do, but I'm asking you anyway. See if you got some trivia going on here. See what you know. We got more people showing up too, so the people probably want to see me do these unboxes. So I'll get to that here in a little bit. Um, so the Foxbat, what they used to call it, was the alcoholic because they used alcohol to cool certain things in the plane, and it was either for cool, antifreeze. I can't remember, but they called it the alcoholic because it had a whole bunch of alcohol circulating through the plane, and it's fitting because Russians like vodka anyway. So, but they called it the alcoholic. So, um, that's what I've heard. I actually learned that on Wings. Um, so who the hell is somebody parked in our parking spot? So yeah, yes, pure alcohol for cooling. So they called it the alcoholic. 100 liters. Oh, hold on a second. So anyway, yeah, see, and that's what it was, like vodka. So I remember that they called it the alcoholic. So cool. It wasn't just me that said that. So, so let me get going here. Stories. Yes, and there were stories of it because it wasn't the kind of alcohol that will kill you. It was the kind of alcohol you can drink. So the kind that will make you go blind. Um, so anyway, let us get these. I'm going to get these cameras set up, and then we are going to do an unbox. I've got 2 boxes, so there's 2 planes here. One's going to be plane, batteries, and fan, which is going to be kind of cool. And then we will get to the other plane, which is just a plane. But I don't have receivers for them yet. I have them, I just haven't cleared them yet. So Mike Bird, what is happening? So I will be back. Give me a few seconds, guys. I've got to get the camera set up, and then I will be back. Okay, y'all, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm gonna have to set up my other my tablet so that I can hear, or so that I can see what's going on here. Okay, so I see that there's sound. I don't know if you heard music at all when I was playing. I was trying to make it so you could hear music. Even though some people get annoyed by the musica, I don't care. I posted up there just to fill the blank, fill the void. But I've got two planes here. I've got the Hobby King F-16 with some batteries, and then I have the FMS F-16. So let's get the smaller one here first. And sorry if there's bouncing and banging, but if I bump the camera, I apologize. But let's get started on this. So this, I literally just got this. This showed up about 30 minutes before the stream started. So I'll get that out of the way. Let's get this here so you guys can see. So this is the the FMS, not FMS, what am I saying? This is the Hobby King F-16 in their new scheme. So I'm going to start with the small box, which is probably the other parts. Sadly, it does not feel like it was packaged all that well. So I'm hoping that things didn't get banged up too much. But things are in here. I'm going to have to... This is exactly how it came. I didn't mess with anything. Nothing has been opened. So I'll catch up on the chat. Okay, so I don't like the packaging. I'm just going to be up front. I don't like hearing stuff flippity flopping around in here, because that means that stuff was not packaged well. Especially this fan unit. I mean, look at it's cool, but I mean, guys, really? The bag with nothing around it? Come on. You need to be better than that. Should have been in a box at least. What the hell? So, well, at least they have good bullets on it. It's a decent sized bullet. This is a small fan. This is a small fan. Got that. Had to click something here for a second. But so this is a small fan. Really small fan. But what's that noise? So it's really easy to pinch. So I'm gonna have to pull this apart and see how I can get this to work. But it's, I mean, it's surprisingly, I mean, I'm not used to seeing fans this small. Is this a 40 or is it a 50? This doesn't feel like a 50. Let me show you what it's like compared to these other fans I've got. This is a 70. This is a 70 X-Fly. Look at the difference in size. Quite a bit. So anyway, we are going to see if this is in need of balancing. I won't do that on this stream today, but I'll do that on another one. Really small fan. Looks like even the smallest amount of pressure causes it to rub. So we'll have to do this. I might even do it today after, just to see. But it's a cool little fan. It's a lot of blades. It's not a whole lot of pitch, so it should be pretty good. And it's 4,000 kV. They do have an X-Fly unit that's got more, bigger motor and more kV, so that might be worth it. But that looks pretty good. That's one part of what I got. So Now let's see what else we got in here. So these are some of the batteries I ordered. These are 1550 4S Rhino packs. Let me see the balance port. Oh, it should be 5. Yep, so it's a 4S. So I'm going to see how this works in there. I got 2 of those because these were stupid cheap. And I know Rhinos are actually pretty good now. So I got 2 of them. So these are XT60s. I don't use these. If the plane comes with it, with an XT60, I'll leave it. And I'll just use that. But, so again, I'm a little annoyed that Hobby King didn't do better packing. Batteries I don't care so much about because they've got their own packaging, but the EDF unit bouncing around like that, a little bit discouraging. But doesn't feel too bad. It feels like it might be decently balanced, but you know me, I'm not going to leave it as it is. I'm going to see if I can perfect it, make it even better. So that's one part. Now here is the actual plane. That's the box the plane comes in. Let's get this out of the way. Put that down there. But those little batteries are cool. We'll see how they work on the side of the plane. Let's get this opened. I'm going to take a second here to look at the chat once I get this stuff open. And again, I just got this probably about 20 minutes before the show started. I kind of gambled. It said it was out for delivery. So I was hoping that it was actually out for delivery and not hung up at the hub there somewhere. But there we go. So that's the main reason why I got it, because it's a red tail. Anything red tail I want, because red tails are cool. Never got enough representation, and any representation they can get is good, even though almost all of them are dead now, which sucks. But so yeah, we're gonna do that. Checking out the chat right now to see Shoutouts, yes, 50. And oh, you got 31 people here still. Cool, thank you guys. Please hit that thumbs up button, because that lets people know that I'm here and it makes the algorithm work in my behalf. Let me get that setting up the camera thing going. I thought I forgot to get that out of there. But there we go. So anyway, this is a cool little plane. The packaging here, let's see what they did. Oh my God, it's so small. It's so small. It is itty bitty. Holy crap. Look at this. So these are the actual wings. Look at how dinky those things are. There's the tail. They did a decent job packing this. Would have been better if it was foam, but for the most part, this is still pretty good. The decal is bubbling a little bit, which is okay. This whole thing was $159. And since I added these extra things, it made it so that shipping was free. So, see, now they did a good job packing the plane. I'll give them credit there. The plane looks good as far as that part goes. They put the foam up there in the front. There's foam back there in the back. You can see right there, there's foam here protecting everything. So they did a good job there. I'm not going to complain about that. But the other parts that they put in there, that was a little bit annoying. I didn't like the way they did that, but that's not the plane. The plane is in good shape. Another thing I like is that I can see that the gluing surface for the most part is clear of paint, so there won't be a whole lot of work involved there. Getting that, I'm not going to pull all of this out, just I wanted to show the parts. One thing I dislike is this is flopping around, and that could dent the plane, but that is the carbon spar. It's pretty beefy too. That's pretty good. So what they were saying in the plane is that there is a gyro. So there's gyro with all these different settings that you can do. We'll have to go through that another time. But there's 3 settings. There's like beginner, intermediate, and no gyro, right? Something like that. But pretty cool looking little bird. The Velcro and the parts. This is all, this is taped down. So I'm going to do some different setup with this because, oh wait, the ailerons are separate. Oh, okay. I thought they were joined. Never mind. So I don't have to do any weirdness. They're actually separated. That's cool. So I'm not going to go crazy pulling this apart, but I did want to show you guys what it looks like in the package. And since all of this is compartmentalized like that, I'm not going to mess with it for now. But this will be put together and flown over the weekend. If I can, I'm going to try to get both of these done. But I don't want to hold everybody here tonight. So this is one part down. Not sure those batteries will fit, but I'm going to figure out a way to make this work, even if it means using the little 30C 4000s that I have. 30C 1600s that are actually quite a bit smaller than that. But these are fat. These are like drone packs. Anyway, one part done. Looks pretty cool. We will work on that later on. So let's get to the next one. Sorry if you see the tablet there. But tablet's what I'm using for the chat. So this one I received from Fair RC, and it has not been opened. It is still sealed. I never did touch it. I got it, I set it up, and left it alone. But it is going to be opened now. Let's go a little higher. You can see. Oh, of course, I got it backwards. But here it is, and this picture is from one of my fellow RC friends. I think this is the picture that John Barnes took. So this is a picture from the Santa Rosa area, Sonoma County. But this is his picture from when he reviewed the plane. I don't know if he still does work with FMS, but he used to and did some really good reviews. I've gotten quite a bit of things from him, so cool dude. He does articles in the RC, the AMA magazine, and some other stuff too. So cool guy, very good reviews, and he takes good pictures, which is why they use pictures on his stuff. Pictures of his stuff on their stuff. So, and again, this is from Fair RC, which sells FMS stuff. Now that FMS is back, I'm not sure how long that site will be there, but until it isn't, I'm going to use it. I got, how much? I think $15 off when I ordered this through Fair RC. Then I was able to build up rewards. So I've got like almost $50 rewards built up right now because I bought this plane, and then I also bought the I also got the new Rena Racer, the Miss America, from there, and I got money off from that when I bought it. So very cool outfit. No complaints there. They shipped really fast. No damage. FMS always ships packed very well. This has a reflex, so it's got reflex stuff in there. So this is packaged really well. So I'm gonna have to pop this stuff up open here. Oh, Anthony, sorry to hear it. I see you're there. I'll try to catch up with the chat here, guys. Let me see. I think I might have this. I do. I have everything I need right here. Let me do that right now. I've got all the stuff I need to run up this little fan. So I'm going to do that right now. I just realized I've got all my stuff out to actually run up this fan. So I'm going to do that really quick. Let's. I hope that the BEC holds up. But I have. This is what I use to test my burners. I use an ESC with a BEC to power this thing. So. Oh, it's on the wrong side. I've got to take this and put it over here. That goes over here. Okay. Now it's on the right side. There we go. So it's very easy to pinch. So, oh yeah, it's way out. So hey, listen, guys. You hear that? When I hold it away, you hear nothing. When I put it on the table, there's nothing. And the louder it gets, the higher it gets, the louder it gets. For those of you that have this plane, yes, it's going to be out of balance. You may not notice, but just because you don't notice does not mean it's not there. So I'm actually going to balance this. That's actually kind of funny. I got it connected properly on the first try. So anyway, so there you go. So yes, this plane is going to need a balanced fan, and I'm going to balance this, and it's going to sound buttery smooth, and it's going to be even faster than what the other guys have been showing so far. So those of you that have this plane, you'll want to see this little tutorial that I do on balancing. It'll show you how to do it. So anyway, let's get back to our regularly scheduled program, which was the FMS F-16. Oops, I think I just scratched it before I even used it. So anyway, let's get back to that. So let's just open up and look at the parts. This has a reflex in it. I don't think I'm going to use the reflex, but it does come with the instructions. It is here. So here are the instructions. FMS is usually really good with their instructions on how to put the plane together. I've had the E-Flight F-16, which is very similar to this. It's just the E-Flight F-16 is not painted, and it's just has those couple decals on it to make it look like a Thunderbird. This has extra decals, all these different schemes. I'm not going to open it up, but it has all these different schemes that you can choose. I have stuff from Cali Graphics for a VFC 13 F-16, which is an F-16N for the Navy, which is an oddball and something that I wanted. I'm a weird ass, so I said, what the hell? Let me choose an oddball plane for me. So I'm going to do it in that scheme, which is what they use for Top Gun for the aggressors. So here's one of the wings. Fairly well painted. I just put that scratch in because I have long nails, believe it or not, which is not right. I need to cut them. But they do a good job on the paint. Don't really see much of the foam beads, but they did a pretty good job. I'll try to put a decent layer of primer on here before I do the rest of the painting. They did upgrade. This is something you won't find in the E-flite version. Digital Metal Gear servos. So that's really cool that they do that. Very precise. They're cheap servos in price, but they actually work really well. I don't know why E-flite cheaped out so badly on their servos, but the servos that come in their planes are not the quality that these are. So this is pretty good. There's the wing. This one you can see the beads a little more on, but like I said, I'm going to try to primer this and get it painted in a desert camo scheme with blue underneath. So it's kind of cool. So let's get some more of the stuff. So we've got the vertical. Everything looks to be in really good shape. Nothing's bent or dented. I'm going to have to do a little bit of paint removal for these areas. They didn't put paint in here, which is good, but I need to remove the paint on the sides here so that when I glue it, it won't be a problem. So that's something you don't have to do, but it's something I always do because it makes it so that the foam joint is more permanent and not so, it's not a fake bond. So here's the missiles for the wingtips, which is kind of cool. They slot on. You can put them on or not. These are better than what, I think maybe they're about the same as what came with the E-flite. But the Thunderbird does not have ordnance. This is not a Thunderbird. This is an actual military deployed plane. So it's cool for this one to have it, but there's no reason for a Thunderbird to have it. So, and it's painted. E-flite doesn't paint theirs. All of it looks like this, which is, don't like. Anyway, so let's get to the fuse. Actually, let's do the tail first. So these are the tails. And since these are glue, I'm gonna have to remove the paint to glue them in place. Ball links. And anytime you get a plane with foam hinges, work those foam hinges a little bit before you actually fly the plane to get them loosened up. I might actually go over this with something else to reinforce them, but the problem is there's paint there. So even if I do put some reinforcement in there, it's going to come off with the paint. So let's probably just fly it as it is, or later on I'll pull it apart. Or I could, we'll have to figure that out. I have a video of my my 70mm free wing F-16 having that thing rip out mid-flight. I had to do a landing with one elevator working and the other one flopping in the breeze. So nose cone, had to dent it getting out because it was in there pretty hard. Same as the E-flite, and it's not glued, so I'll have to glue that. Ventral fins, those get glued in place. And then here is the heart of the plane. This is the fuselage, and this is the cool part because they actually updated this plane with the new, this is the V2. So not only does it come with the new reflex, which is their version of a gyro. Did they put it to the side? I don't know if they actually put it in the plane. It's not in the plane. It's somewhere in here. So it might be somewhere in here. Or maybe it didn't come with it. If it didn't come with it, it's fine. I'm not going to use it. But there's the inside. Comes with the Velcro, comes with the straps. There is the EC5. Cool thing is this doesn't have anything on the way here like on the E-flite. So if you want to put the What I would suggest is putting the receiver somewhere up here so you can move the battery further back. But we'll see. I mean, having a 4000 right up here isn't going to be too bad. But I'm probably going to put a UVEC in here as well. But here's everything's labeled really well. It has the new fan, which is a 70mm 1900 kV in runner. The original was an 1850, but this one is a little bit higher. But it's also got a bigger diameter motor, so even though it seems like it's just a small jump in kV, it's actually a big jump in performance. So even if they would have kept the kV the same and just oh, they put a little touch up here. Even if they would have kept the kV the same and made the motor bigger, the motor would have had higher RPM just from that alone. So even though it's only a slight increase in kV, since it is a since it's a bigger motor, just by having the bigger motor, it's actually going to give it higher performance just because of that. So it's going to be more than just 1900 kV. The bump is going to be more than just what it would be as 1900. It's actually going to be pretty good. So I'm not going to put the plane together tonight, but I could fairly easily because there's it goes together just with screws. These are for the 4 screws for the wing, and then that's for the elevator, and then yeah, it's pretty much ready to go. That's it. There's not a whole lot to this thing, but I have to do gluing, and then I'm also going to have to add a fiery booty to this thing, which is great. It looks really good in this plane. I think one of my promo videos have this plane, the older version. A friend has an older version that it's flying past. It looks pretty cool. So there we go. So I'm going to put all this back together, and I'll deal with it another time. But there's the unboxing of it. You get to see what the plane looks like. The finish is pretty good. The hinges are good. Everything's done really well. This is something I like about the FMS planes, is the way that they make their canopies. They always put a vent hole, and they don't make it too dark inside, so you can actually keep this thing from bubbling even if it's in the sun. It's going to bubble some, but it's not going to bubble that much. So there you go. Good looking plane. And this is one that I've wanted, but just haven't had a chance to get. So now that I've got it, I'm gonna put it to good use. I have the free wing F-16 that's sitting in storage. Nate's gonna crack up because it's been there for 2 years and I haven't done anything with it. But I plan on probably taking the receiver from that to put in this one, and then I'll have a receiver for it, or I'll put an AR-637 in this. Easiest way to do it would be with the Lemon, because I know Lemons make the F-16s fly really good. So I'm probably gonna put that up in her. But there you go, guys. That's what I've got going. I'm going to try to get some good videos of this. I have a lot of F-16s, so basically I've got 3 right now, and after I get the 80 again, I'll have 4. So I have the 90mm free wing. I have the 70mm, another one. I have the 70mm free wing, but that's not flyable at the moment. And then I have the 50 that I just showed you guys. So I have a lot of planes. And then maybe I'll do the unboxing of the P-51 next week if I don't get that thing going, but we'll see. So that one over there. So we'll see. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. Don't want to keep everybody on here for too long, but I appreciate you guys being here for this. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to shut this camera off, and I'll get back to my regular one. So see you guys in a bit. All right, y'all. I'm back. Hope you guys can hear me. Um, so that's about it. So I have to catch up on the chat here. I wasn't paying too much attention because I was messing with the jets there. So let me catch up on who's here. Anthony Lachey, what's happening? Sorry to hear that you wrecked yours. I've seen a couple people have problems with theirs, but um, and yeah, that the fan. I hope you guys could hear that. That fan was considerably out of balance, especially with those little ones. You'll rip them apart pretty easily. So, I'll Airvex, what's happening? I see you here. How you doing? Oh man. Yeah, it looks like Jay lost an entire stab on his takeoff. So yeah, I'm gonna spend the time actually putting the stuff in there to make it right. Hold on a sec, guys. All right, guys. Sorry, had to deal with some stuff. But anyway, so I'm going to get these planes worked out. But yeah, I'm gonna go through and make sure that all the glue, all the paint is removed on all the gluing surfaces, and I know how to glue it in place where it stays. Perry Fernu, what is happening? So Airvex, yeah, I'm probably going to use. I don't know what I'm going to use in that. We'll see. Probably going to use my tried and true, trusted the older Lemon RX, which was really good in my other F-16. Some planes they work really well with. Snow, I am going to be. Oh, you have a Futaba. But I'm going to be using the AR637 in the Futura when I get that thing going. So Shoutouts, as I was saying with that, even if the KV would have been the same, just making the motor slightly larger in diameter or slightly longer increases the amount of torque that it has, so the RPMs would have been higher. But since they made it 1900 instead of 1850, it's going to be higher because of two things: because of the bigger motor, and then also because of the higher kV, a different wind. So it's a combo effect for that. Yes, and Shoutouts, they were on back order for a weird reason, I think, but Fair RC has them. Horizon was trying to put them all, put reflexes or other things in them, and I think Fair RC was able to get them pretty quick. So I ordered it from them, and I had it in less than a week because it came from Florida. So it's doing like FMS used to, which was ship out of Florida. So anyway, Shoutouts, thanks for being here. Glad you're able to be here with us tonight. I still got 25 people in here, so thank y'all. Mike Bird, I was reading about that. You guys are dealing with some major heat over there, and then from what I hear, it's going to double what it is over the next couple days. So you hang in there. Hopefully you guys have AC. I know you've normally got natural AC with that weird weather you got, but stay cool over there, my friend. Thankfully, we've got AC units in all of our area here, so we use it when it gets hot, and it does get hot here on occasion. But the median temperature for where we live is 72 degrees. So we get a couple months of heat, but it's heat, then fog, then heat, then fog. So it's like off and on. It's never heat for a long time. So I know you guys aren't used to high heat, so hopefully everything's okay. Stay cool over there, my friend. Let's RC, what is up? Thanks for emailing back and forth. So we'll get that thing working. We'll figure that out. So which MiG are you referring to, Lionel? Is this the MiG-25 or the MiG or the other MiG? Tell me. MiG-25 or the MiG-29, and which one? The 64? Yeah, it's pretty cramped in that MiG-25. So Mike Bird, 42, is that 42 degrees Celsius? Because that's crazy hot. Lionel Randall, the MiG-25, it's kind of cramped in there. And I had a receiver that was a regular receiver and a satellite. So I had to move the satellite all the way up in the nose and then the other one in the back. Was able to make it work, but there's not a whole lot of room. If you use one of the AR-630s, one of the small antennaless, I think that would be just fine in there. But I wanted to use something that I knew was going to be reliable. So I used my 10-channel Lemon, which worked fine. So hopefully, Mike Bird, I hope you guys are able to enjoy the heat and then it goes away, because I never like heat for long. Here in the Bay Area and the San Francisco Bay Area where I live, we'll get heat for 3 to 4 days max, and then that sucks in the fog and cools us off. So we're right in the area where, because that's the way it works here. When it gets hot in the valley, it sucks in the marine layer. So we're right on the border here, where there's hills, then a valley, then hills, then another valley. So when it gets really hot in the Central Valley, we'll deal with a little bit of heat, but then it sucks in all the fog again, the marine layer. So that's what I like. Yeah, and that's what I thought. You're not prepared for it. That's because it's not what normally happens. It's kind of the same with here in where I live, people in San Francisco, where it's almost always cool. When it gets hot, they don't know what to do. Same with anybody on the coast here, in the Central Coast, Central and North Coast. So yeah, it's pretty hot. The hottest we've dealt with here is right around 102, 103. It's rare that it gets over 105. But if it does, oh no, you guys are dealing with fires too? Yeah, see, same thing's happening here. Same thing. Hopefully, and we've already got a few fires. Hopefully that's going to stop. So Paul McNeil, you've got paddle tires. You have a drag racer. So is this for RC or for the real thing? If they do that here in Pismo with the paddle tires. Crash Test Dummy, yes, there are rumors of a B1. And at this point, it's only rumors. But the rumor is that it will be 4 50mm EDF units. And I think it's possible that it could be 2 70s because those cones are close together. But from what I'm hearing, it's going to be 4 50mm. That would be really cool. Now, I just wish if it was 70s, that's great because then I could put a burner on that easy. And then you have the fire coming out of that. So my bird, it's all over Europe. So the Spanish are probably going crazy with their fires, and because they have a huge water bomber force that they use out there. Crash Test WRC though, that's yes, the rumor is true. That's what I'm hearing. It's going to be coming out. Don't know from whom exactly because they're kind of all in bed with each other. They're it's a matter of buying molds and such, but it could be from any one of those new guys that are out there. Don't know exactly who yet, but could be any one of them. Could be Fly Fans, could be X-Fly, could be FMS. I don't know if it's going to be FMS. I think it could be Fly Fans or X-Fly, one of those two. And then one of those, there's another company, Aerofoam, I think. Could be. Airvacs. Okay. The stock free wing, I think the stock free wing was a metal 12 blade for the newer HP Airvacs. Because they were using the 12 blade 1857, if I remember right. And if you want to keep the CG, I'm positive that the metal 3665 would be considerably better than anything else, just because it's going to be superior in all areas. It might be about the same weight, but you're going to get a lot more thrust. And yes, Litz RC, I did see it. And my other question for you was, is it just those 2 spots down below, or are there spots up above as well? Because I can do it however you want. But I did see what you sent, but I just needed to know if there were any other spots other than those 2 spots underneath. I think it's just 2 spots underneath. If so, I can do that pretty easy. And then I just need to know wire length, how far till it gets to your battery. And it is electric, correct? I want to make sure that it's electric because it can't be anything else. Not to come out of the exhaust. It'd have to be coming out of a different place if it wasn't electric. What's up, Wreck and Roy? And Crash Test Dummy, yeah, that would be great if it was twin 70s because that's a good combination. And then we'd be able to put fire booties on them if they're the in runners. Be great. The only reason why I don't is because I refuse to put something on that's going to look cool but hurt thrust, Anthony. So I could make them, but I don't want anything that's going to rub up against a bell and get in the way and mess up. I know of a couple that have done that. I don't want anything that's going to block thrust, which is what I'd have to do if I made it go around. So we'll see if I can find an in runner that works for a 50. I have a 50mm in runner. I have a couple of them. Hobby King used to make one. RC Lander used to make one. It'd be great if they made them again. Then I could for sure do a burner. They're just down on power. But they used to make small in runners like that all the time. Paul McNeil, you guys deal with heat and humidity. I don't think you ever have winter out there. You deal with heat and humidity constantly. So I don't know what I'm going to call them yet, but I am going to do guns. So we'll see. And we've only gone almost 2 hours, guys. Sheesh, I didn't go this long. But okay. So let's so a minimum of, I could put one each of the 5mm, or I could do a cluster for each one of the exhaust, and then we can make it work. So yeah, keep in touch through email. We'll get it working, and then I'll send something out, and you can figure it out. And yes, the guns are coming. I haven't done it yet, but I will probably do it in my F5. I have all the parts that I need. I just need to try and get it to work. All right, y'all. So we've had a fairly good turnout today. So thanks, y'all, for being here. 27 likes. Appreciate that. Goonie X. I don't know. We'll figure that part out. I got the Goonie X stacks. Need to come up with another way. Okay, so cool. Paul McNeil, you're doing RC drag racing. That's awesome. All right, so we're getting starting to get low on the viewers, and I'm getting low on energy. So I'm going to get going, but I appreciate everybody being here and hanging out with me on this wonderful Wednesday evening. Mike Bird, thanks for being here. I know you're all the way over there in the UK, and you always end up showing up. So very much appreciated for being here. Thank you for coming by, and I am going to get on out. I'll leave the chat up for a little bit, and we will talk later. But I think I'll probably do a balancing, or no, I'm not gonna do balancing. I'll put that plane together, and I'll show you what it sounds like with an unbalanced fan, and I'll show you what it sounds like with a balanced fan, so that everybody will get it. I know everyone that I've seen for that new Hobby King F-16 thing buzzes like crazy. Everybody's like, "Oh no, it doesn't sound too bad to me. Oh, it doesn't sound." You'll hear. So anyway, I'll leave the chat up for a little bit longer, but I am going to get on out of here. Thanks to y'all for being here. Yeah, Anthony Lachey, I'm tempted to see how it works. See whatever you put in there. I want to see how it works. Just let me know, and if it works okay and there's no issues, go right on ahead. But I'm curious to see how it behaves, because it's a small plane. Adding any little extra thing to it could be hard. But do it and let me know. So, all right, guys, that's it. Have a very good rest of the week, and I'm hoping to do something fun next week that could involve actually flying. So I will get back to y'all and talk to you another time. Adios.